Albani, rahimahullah, also thought the same. He explains how he initially expected to find a hadith that showed the woman companions all covered their faces. And rather, he found that the opposite was true, that there were women companions who covered their faces, but so many women companions did not. He himself gives a number of narrations. I'll give you a handful here, but there are so many narrations in many different books of tafsir, of fiqh, of sharh, of hadith. For example, in one, there was a man who was a companion who mentions that he saw the daughter of Abu Dharr come and that she had brown cheeks. There's another where Jabir ibn Abdullah, radiallahu anhu, he narrates seeing a woman who stood up to ask the Prophet ﷺ a question and that she had, it's like rosy brown cheeks as well. A different companion, Ibn Jabir, mentions the following. We used to participate with the women in learning a surah from the Quran. And I went with an old woman from Bani Asad and 3 others to Ibn Mas'ud. So Ibn Mas'ud sees this woman and he comments on her face. She responds about Ibn Mas'ud's wife. Ibn Mas'ud responds, no, see, look at her face. And then she goes and looks at her face and then comes back and affirms that Ibn Mas'ud was correct. Narration that the woman companions would go to the masjid in the dark hours of the day or night, like Fajr time, for example, and they would be covered and no one would recognize them. He mentions that they were not recognizable because of the dark, but that there's clarification in a separate narration that their faces were uncovered because they couldn't recognize each other's faces. There's another narration of a companion who had finished her iddah and she adorned herself in preparation for suitors. And about this hadith, Albani says that the hadith contains clear evidence hands and face were not considered awrah amongst the companions. There are so many other narrations, so I'm going to stop here because it's not a lecture. This is also not addressing the fiqh of niqab. There's a difference of opinion on whether or not niqab is an obligation, or if it's rewarded, or if it's not a religious commandment, or if it's even makruh, which is disliked in certain circumstances. I personally used to wear niqab. I love my sisters who wear niqab. But I think it's important in this discourse to look at the authentic evidences that we have from the women companions and our salaf and the way that they discuss them. Absolutely, there are going to be scholars who disagree, and that's okay. May Allah bless them all. May Allah bless whatever you personally practice. But I pose the question again, is it possible that the way that some of us have been taught what it means to be a woman in Islam is different from the comprehensive way that Islam looks at women?